Do you ever go into a museum or an art gallery, look at a piece of work, and wonder why you liked it or what drew you to this piece? Edmund Feldman, a professor of art at University of Georgia, developed an easy four-step method for evaluating a work of art criticism. So let's talk about how we can look at artwork intelligently. What kind of questions can we ask? How can we look at a piece and talk about the art elements and principles of design? And what do we need to know about the artist's background, the intention of the piece, and how successful is it? And then with that information, with that context, then can we make a judgment on the work? So step one is description. Now, description is a verbal description of the work of art, okay? Not talking about what you think it is or what you are thinking it's about, but what does it actually look like? What are the facts? What do you see? So what is going on in this piece? Let's take a closer look. So when we talk about description, we're talking about the facts. What do we see in the piece? Well, we can talk about colors. We can talk about lines and shapes and textures. Let's talk about the elements of art, because these are the facts that we know. We can say that these are hats, but do we know that for sure? Do we know that's what the artist intended for sure? They look like hats, but they could also look like other things from somebody else's perspective. We can say that we see free-form shapes that are colored black with values from light gray to dark black. These shapes are being repeated in a pattern, vertically and horizontally. We also see colors. We see primary colors, blue, yellow, red, but we also see some secondary colors such as green, purple, or violet, and orange. These pieces, these elements of art such as shapes and colors are being repeated in a pattern, or they're creating movement for the eye. My eye is not just staying in one spot, it's going up and down, it's going vertical, but my eye is also moving horizontally across this repetitive shape. We can also talk about contrast, or what maybe some of the shapes we see in the background versus the foreground. And where are these things located? I see a green color up in the upper right-hand corner. Near the center of the composition, I see primary colors and secondary colors. Okay. These are all descriptions of what we could talk about for step one. So analysis is step two. Step two is, analysis is what relationships exist with what is seen. So now we're describing the work, the actual facts within it, the elements of art. We can now analyze the elements and principles. We're going to think about these relationships within the design of the artwork. So does this work have any movement? So what is movement? Movement is rhythm. Movement is visual rhythm. Repeating of shapes, colors, lines, repeating of those elements that helps the eye move around the composition. So lines can repeat. Colors can repeat. Shapes, whether geometric or free form, can repeat. Free form is another word for organic. You might hear that word from time to time. Okay, so I would say yes, this piece does create movement because your eye is not standing still. Your eye is moving around the picture. Okay, because these white colors are making a pattern with the black colors, or these free form shapes are kind of being repeated in a radial motion. Okay, the thin lines repeat across the picture and it helps move the eye in a linear fashion. So So what elements really stand out when you talk about analysis? Pick the best one. Pick the best one. Pick, is it line? Is it color? Is it shape? When you look at an artwork, choose one, analyze it fully. Be descriptive. What colors are used? What specific lines do you see in the artwork? These are things you can ask yourself when looking. Interpretation is step 3. What is the content or meaning based on steps 1 and 2? Or what is the artist trying to say? So what thoughts or feelings do you get when looking at this piece? Okay. To go further into this, we will need a little bit of context as far as what the artist is trying to say. It is a sculpture of a toilet, or a urinal, actually, that he had appropriated, kind of reused, and wrote a fictional signature with the date. Marcel Duchamp is the artist of this piece, and it really caused an uprising within the art world and the time and the culture of this work. But there again, we don't have the context, we don't have the readings, we don't have a little bit of the history. So research to get in-depth interpretation is sometimes needed. What is the artist trying to say in this work? Do we know? It's abstract. We need some context. You can say it looks like a teapot with maybe an olive on a stick. Maybe these are representative of socializing. Maybe this looks like a tree. We don't know for sure. We can say what we know. We can describe it. We can analyze it with the elements and principles of design, but we need some context into the artist's history, the background, his or her interpretation. Finally, we have judgment, step 4. Judgment is your evaluation of the work based on steps 1, 2, and 3. So tell me what you think of the work. When you're talking about judging a piece, what do you really think and why, of course? So what makes this effective? Why is this piece effective? Is it unified? Does it look finished? Does your eye move around? If we talk about emphasis, is there an emphasis point, a focal point? Maybe there isn't. Is there a variety of colors, a variety of shapes? Is it saying what the artist intended to say? So these are all questions you can ask yourself when looking at a piece. Is a work successful because it meets the criteria of what the artist intended? Do you like it? Do you like the work for step 4? If you do, tell us why. If not, tell us why. And what is the evidence that you are using to support your claim of your opinion? These are the 4 steps of art criticism by Edmund Feldman. Good luck. We're going to continue this talk in class, and hopefully this will be a good key for you to use whenever in a museum or art gallery looking at works of art, or even in a magazine or book. How do we appreciate art? Hopefully these will help you do so.